Wait, what just happened to Jennie? That was the question on everyone's lips when the new brand reputation rankings dropped. Because no one expected Rosé to not only climb to the top, but to blow the competition away. Let me take you back. For years, Blackpink's Jennie and IVE's Jang Won-young have been fighting neck and neck at the top of girl group popularity rankings. Jennie, with her unmatched charisma, Won-young with her elegant visuals and growing influence. But then, something shifted. Suddenly, in July 2025, the name Rosé didn't just appear on the charts, it erupted. Her brand reputation index, a staggering 5,886,074, an 85.69% jump from last month. Not just growth, explosion. Rosé didn't climb, she soared. Out of nowhere, she went from underdog to queen. And while she was rising, others were falling. Jennie's index, once one of the highest, dropped by over 1.4 million points, a 20.77% decrease. That's not just a dip, that's the kind of fall that makes headlines. And Won-young, the princess of the fourth gen, her index slid down 11.4%, losing her grip on the crown she's held for months. But why? Let's talk why this happened, because these rankings aren't random. They're built from 104 million data points. Social buzz, media coverage, community engagement, and consumer sentiment. And Rosé's name? It's burning everywhere. Her brand analysis reviewed powerful words dominating online conversations. Prove, irreplaceable, evolve. Let that sink in. Fans, brands, the general public, they're not just admiring her beauty, they're feeling her transformation. Rosé isn't standing still, she's evolving, growing into a more powerful, mature, and irreplaceable version of herself. And it's not just her music. Whispers about her rumored connection with Bruno Mars, her iconic apartment tour, her deep interviews where she opens up about vulnerability and strength, they're capturing hearts worldwide. The positivity rating? A mind-blowing 94.88%. That's not just support, that's love, that's trust. That's the world saying, we see you, we believe in you. Now, about Lisa. She came from nowhere this month. Her June ranking was modest, even forgettable. But now, a 249.80% increase. Yes, you heard that right. From under 1 million to over 3.4 million in a single month. It's the definition of a comeback. Something is happening in Blackpink right now, and it feels like the start of a new era. And yet, oh Jennie, she didn't just fall, she was overtaken. And for someone so powerful, so iconic, that shift is emotional. Fans are speculating. Is it a pause before something big? Is she preparing a solo comeback? Or is she simply letting Rosé have her moment? As for Jang Won-young, the most talked about fourth-gen idol, even her elegance and brand power couldn't stop the fall. She's still second, but the lead is slipping. And when we zoom out, what we see is a storm of ambition, of artistry, of young women competing on the fiercest battlefield of modern entertainment. The top 10? 1. Rosé, Jang Won-young, 3. Jennie, An Yoo-jin, 5. Lisa, 6. Jisoo, 7. Winter, 9. Mina. Each one of them carving their own story, struggling with pressure, with fame, with the weight of expectations. This isn't just a chart, it's a mirror into their hearts. A reflection of what people feel, click, watch, whisper about, cry over, and fall in love with. And Rosé? She's not just a chart topper. She's a symbol of something deeper, grace under pressure, rebirth, and the quiet, persistent force of someone who never stopped believing in herself. And that's why this month, the world turned. And when it did, it turned to Rosé. So now we wait. Will August bring a shocking twist? Will Jennie rise again? Will Lisa's explosive comeback catch fire? Or will Rosé continue to evolve into something far beyond what any of us expected? One thing is certain, this isn't just pop music. This is history, being written by voices that refuse to be silenced. And we're lucky enough to witness it.